Every season of Survivor is a story. There are main characters, sidekicks, comic reliefs, and villains. A good season of Survivor tells a compelling story that has you rooting for someone and against someone else. You will want to watch episode after episode to see what happens next until it all finishes with a hopefully satisfying conclusion. Each story that we look at together will go through one character's journey from beginning to end, from the time they're introduced until they inevitably get their torch snuffed or win the game. We are going to look at every character, moment, and strategic move to determine whether they were a hero or a villain and whether they were a good or bad strategist. And with that, welcome to Once Upon an Island. For reference, we are only observing what the TV show is showing us and what story is being told through the show. No future seasons will be mentioned, as the story and characters here have no idea about what happens in those future seasons. All character moments and strategic moves are interpreted with the mindset of what the story is trying to tell us. And with that,
39 days, 18 people, 1 survivor.
Corinne Kaplan, a 29-year-old pharmaceutical saleswoman from California, was a castaway on Survivor's 17th season, Survivor Gabon. The show finally made the leap to HD, and what a world of difference this makes as they are visiting Africa for the second time in the show's history, and the cast we have here are 18 newbies. We learn that Exile Island is back with a hidden immunity idol being there, and we then meet our 18 castaways, including Corinne.
Hi everybody, I'm Corinne and I do pharmaceutical sales. I'm gonna be a total bitch and I'm gonna get rid of who I have to get rid of, and I'm gonna hurt people's feelings, and I'm gonna laugh when people cry, and I'm gonna own it.
Well then, Corinne, when she talks out loud, seems to be nice to everyone. But I don't know how often we have someone be this crass and purposefully evil in their first confessional. Jeff then says the two oldest players here, Bob and Jillian, will be in charge of drafting the two tribes. Why are they doing this? They have attempted this exact twist in season 5 Thailand and it bombed, and then they tried again in seasons 10 and 14 and it doesn't work. It never works. But like a stubborn mule, they're doing it again. Corinne lands on Coda, aka Bob's tribe, aka the tribe that seems to be clearly stacked and actually made their selections in a smart manner to win challenges. However, Fong, the opposing tribe, does have Crystal, the Olympic runner, who says she's gonna win with her blazing fast speed. Their first challenge is to run across this beautiful land and up a hill. Whichever tribe does this first wins. In surprising fashion, Coda wins, and the last person to cross the finish line is Crystal, the Olympic runner. Wow. At the Coda camp, they work hard to build a shelter, and Corinne says this Bob guy is actually kind of great.
Bob, he's just like the forever Boy Scout.
Go Bob! Go Bob! Let's just give him some moral support.
Bob, he's totally like, he gets it together, he's got the camp running really smoothly. He's 57 years old and he's awesome.
You know, after her first confessional, I didn't think we would hear her compliment people, especially in confessional, so that's nice. Coda then goes on to win immunity in dominating fashion, but this premiere episode is a 2-hour doubleheader, so the next day at camp, Marcus, aka Survivor's ideal perfect winner choice, says he likes Corinne and he wants to be in an alliance with her.
And I think Corinne, I actually really like her.
I think at this point it's looking like the large onion alliance, as I might call it. Myself, Charlie, Jackie, Corinne is what we're shooting for. And I think Corinne is probably the smartest one around. I like hanging out with you, and I think it would be great to have a smaller layer of the group.
I think we have a really good chance. I would like the alliance to be like me, you, and Jackie, tight, strong, Charlie, and then just have one looser person. And then we just need a peripheral one extra person to be in the majority, and Bob is really benign, everyone likes him.
Mind you, the Onion Alliance actually originated in season 2, but here's the first time someone has used this analogy to explain it. Coda then goes on to win immunity again because Fong is just that big of a mess. And that's it for the premiere episode. So far, we've seen Coda dominate challenges so hard that Fong is actually getting all the screen time because they are a hot mess. But what we did see of Corinne was someone who promises to be a villain and also gets into an alliance with who the show is telling us is the smartest person here. So is Corinne on the path to be a Final 3 loser? Maybe. Let's find out. By the way, if you want to pick what subjects I cover, including story videos, rankings, and even amazing race content, then consider supporting this channel on Patreon. Our show is patron supported, and that's why you don't see sponsors in any of these videos, as the patrons are the ones with the power to dictate what videos are made. If this interests you, then check out the link in the description. Thank you for your support. Episode 2 sees a strange turn of events for Coda as they actually lose the reward challenge to the hot mess that is Fong. Weird. Sugar is then sent to Exile Island from their tribe, and back at camp we see Corinne and Bob talk. They say Paloma will be the first voted out, followed by Sugar, but in bigger news, Bob agrees to be aligned with Corinne. Score. Hold on though, don't be drinking anything during this next statement. Are you ready? Coda loses immunity. I know, what the heck, how did that even happen? If it makes you feel better, Fong has been way overeating their supply of rice, so that could be part of it. Sugar then arrives back at camp and says, I did not find the immunity idol on Exile, and people believe her, and why shouldn't they? Sugar is perceived as weak, and it is only episode 2. Yule, I believe, is the only person to have actually found the idol in episode 2 of their season, so Sugar's no Yule. The debate then rages on between voting off Paloma or Ace. Ace is this arrogant guy with a questionable British accent. Corinne says she isn't even sure if that accent is real, but she knows come emerge, he's gonna flip on them. And actually, Corinne is dead on. He will absolutely flip at any moment, so he needs to be a target for them. At Tribal Council, they all go to vote, and Paloma is gone in a 7-2 elimination.
Paloma, tribe has spoken.
Episode 3 brings with it a twist, a tribe swap that sees Corinne stay on Coda with Bob, Marcus, and Charlie. Perfect for her as they have a 4-3 lead over the old Fong. Those old Fong members are Randy, Susie, and Dan. They do win immunity, so we move on to episode 4 where we see Coda catching fish and eating well, but then they go to the reward challenge where they use some innovative thinking to try and win.
Survivors ready. Go! Corinne with the left-handed toss gets denied. Maddie is working, Charlie. Another big Maddie to Kenny connection. That combination is giving Fong a big lead right now.
Got it!
Huge pineapple caught by Kenny. And on that left hand, there it is. Both baskets look pretty full. 2, 1. That's it. Challenge is over. 16 pounds for Fong. Not bad. By 2 pounds, Coda wins reward. Which member of Fong are you sending to Exile Island?
Might as well have your mail forwarded there, because Sugar's going again.
And why sending Sugar again?
No strategy, purely comedy.
Did Dan really just say that when sending to Sugar to Exile for the 3rd time in a row? Yeah, he did, and wow. Coda does win immunity, so in episode 5, the food is becoming a situation for them. You see, Dan eats 5 servings a meal. And this is Survivor, so that's not how things are supposed to work. Their rice supply is dwindling fast. Everyone is annoyed by this. They do win reward where surprisingly the Olympic runner on Fong, Crystal, drops out. Weird. I guess she isn't that great at running after all. With that reward comes pastries, and back at camp everyone is like, I guess we need to ration these or Dan will eat them all. Though they don't tell Dan that's why they're doing it, but that's the real reason. He seems to be the most hated of the old Fong. They do win immunity, so in episode 6, the Dan hate continues as he's kind of just being an awkward duck.
I wanted to clarify that I'm like a really sensitive person, and it's weird when I'm not part of a group.
I would say that Dan is socially inept in a lot of ways. I don't know if he's a former fatty or why he wasn't liked as a child, but deep down inside, he's a little kid that's seeking approval.
They do win reward, and Sugar is sent to Exile for a record 5th time in a row. And with that, the reward not only comes with a cool helicopter flight, but also letters from home, which makes Bob cry and Corinne be extra nice to him. So I guess Corinne's just not gonna be a villain. I'm so confused. We then learn that no matter what, both tribes are going to Tribal Council, and back at camp, Marcus says he wants Charlie, Corinne, and Randy with him in the final 4, Bob has now been excluded from the group. Great for Corinne, but even better for Marcus when you think about it. Whether he sits next to Charlie, Corinne, or Randy at this point in the game, he's gonna win. It's not even close. They then talk about whether to vote off Susie or Dan next, and we all know about Dan, but let's catch up on Susie. You see, she has been a quiet hard worker who they suspect is less likely to flip than Dan come emerge. But then, in a plot twist, Susie talks to Corinne and says,
okay, I want to be honest with you. I was actually going to vote you. Because?
Why?
Because I know that I'm a hard worker. I know that without having fire and water and food, how are you going to perform physically? You're going to have to take that time to do that work.
So this moron has decided that she'd like me to go. Really? I hate her. I hate her, hate her, hate her. Like, I really want to stab her in the face. And if you piss me off, you've pissed off my alliance.
Ah, there is the evil Corinne she promised to be. But I think what Susie just said is everything they need to know about her future intentions. You see, Dan has openly expressed loyalty, and they actually found this annoying and said, he's doing it too obviously. Obviously, this means he's going to flip on us come emerge because he's just being too loyal. But Susie has been quiet, and here she actually makes her true feelings known, and Corinne is mad and says, we're voting off Susie next. So at tribal council, Jeff asks about who is strong in this tribe, and Susie says, well, I think I'm stronger than Corinne physically. And Corinne, while keeping a fake smile on her face, says, oh yeah, maybe. But she is livid. So they all go to vote, and
First vote, Susie. 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 Dan. 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 Eighth person voted out of Survivor Gabon. Dan. Dan, tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
I am baffled. Corinne voted off Dan and not Susie. That was the one vote difference. They suspected Dan might have an idol that he got when he went to exile in episode 1, but Susie just said she isn't loyal. I don't get it. But with episode 7, people suspect the merge is coming very soon, and they all commit to being the final 6 and Pagong the remaining 4 Fong members of the other tribe. This will be a piece of cake. Corinne says, you better believe Susie is going to pay. Just not this moment, just down the line, she's gonna pay.
After what Susan said at last night's tribal, I plan on burying her as soon as possible, alive. I am an extremely vindictive person, and I will get my revenge.
It took Susie cracking her, but Corinne is finally being the villain she promised to be. They then get tree mail which says, go to the beach and bring only your personal possessions. Sounds like a merge to me. We then see everyone enjoying a large feast, and they see that a box is on the table. It says, don't open me until you're done feasting so we can continue the game. AKA it probably contains the new merge buffs. Since no one wants to merge quite yet, they enjoy their time until Kenny spots a note on the table and Marcus reads it out loud. As it turns out, it's a clue to a hidden immunity idol hidden right here on their beach. Randy finds the idol fast, and since Coda feels like they have this game in the bag, him and Marcus just chuck it in the ocean. Now they ask everyone if they want the idol, and everyone says no, though some people clearly want it. So they just chuck it right in the ocean. They then open the box with the new buffs, and
congratulations, you have just divided yourself into 2 new tribes.
I thought there were gonna be 10 new buffs in the box and that we were gonna be a merged tribe. I just never in a million years predicted.
Well, they still haven't merged. Corinne is on the cursed Fong tribe, but the swap does work in their favor as both tribes have Coda up 3-2. She is with Randy and Charlie, whereas Marcus is with Susie and Bob. At their new camp, Corinne, Randy, and Charlie talk about whether to vote off Maddie or Sugar first from their tribe. Charlie says there is a slim chance Sugar could have the idol after going to exile 5 times, so let's just do Maddie. They then debate on whether to throw the next immunity to secure Marcus making it to the merge, and on the off chance Susie flips on him. But at the immunity challenge, they don't really get a chance to do that because this one is more individual. Crystal drops out after literally 1 second, and Maddie single-handedly wins it for them. They didn't have a choice to throw it or not. Episode 8 has me asking, why aren't we merged yet? And why are we going to do another reward challenge? So when the new Coda walks in to the challenge,
Getting your first look at the new Coda. Marcus voted out at the last tribal council. Corinne, you look miserable.
I'm pissed, yeah. He didn't deserve to leave the game.
Then who does? Who does deserve to leave the game?
Marcus is gone because Susie flipped. Wow. All of a sudden they went from being up 6-4 to being down 4-5. just like that. They then win reward in super messy fashion as Randy fights with everyone over a simple task, and on said reward, they get a feast with the locals and
then we went to the next tribal ceremony, and this little girl, she was very, very cute. She was like too small to like follow everybody and like hang out, so I paid some attention to her, and then she was like lewd to me, which was cute. But I'd be the last person anyone would think would like chum up to a 2-year-old.
The dancers were great. I kind of got the feeling one of them liked me. I haven't had a girl come on to me in about 20 years, but I think one of them kind of liked me. I hate to dance. My feet hurt, my knee hurts, my shoulder hurts, and I just ate about 4 pounds of food, but hell, I danced with her.
But believe it or not, come the immunity challenge, they are finally merged. It's about time, Survivor. Susie goes on to win individual immunity, so Corinne's gonna have to wait to vote her off for now. And back at camp, Sugar says, to align with you, Corinne, I want to vote off Randy. And Corinne says, could we not?
I know that he's annoying, Sugar, I know, and I feel you on this, but I'm afraid that we might shoot ourselves in the foot. Literally after this vote, we would be even, like we would still be off one, we can get rid of him in the next vote. I mean, I want you to be comfortable, so I care about your opinion. I mean, I will do what you want to do. Not only do I have to act interested in what Sugar's saying, but I have to act like I care about her. Sugar is so weak and naive and gullible. I've been nasty to her for 25 days. I was nice to her one day, and she's sold. So it doesn't even make sense, but she buys it because she's such a moron.
I think this is a good appeal by Corinne, and obviously on paper it makes sense. Voting off Randy but acquiring Sugar leaves them in almost the same spot they are already in. We then see Susie, Crystal, and Maddie say, we need to break up Charlie and Corinne, with Maddie saying Corinne's personality is simply awful. Now mind you, he only spent a few days with her and he's already saying this. So at Tribal Council, everyone goes to vote, and will Sugar flip to them or not?
First vote. Who cast this vote?
Cece, Crystal Cox.
Crystal. 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 Charlie. 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 10th person voted out of Survivor Gabon and the second member of our jury. Charlie. Charlie, tribe has spoken. Time for you.
Corinne is now in a horrible spot. Down 3-5, she says her, Bob, and Randy are screwed unless they can make some big moves. The Marcus vote out really did in their entire game plan, so her and Randy talk about what their next move should be.
I don't like any of these people.
I hate them.
I hate them.
Don't even bother trying to be nice to Sugar, you know, just keep away from them and work on Maddie.
Or maybe I meant her and Randy are just gonna call everyone idiots. Same thing at this point. Their tree mail then indicates that they will be participating in the Amazing Survivor auction next, and Corinne says, I need some sort of an advantage, so I'm gonna use every dollar I have to get one. At the auction, the feud between Randy and Sugar heats up as Sugar screws with him multiple times, including taking his cookie and giving it to Maddie. Randy is peeved. But more importantly for Corinne,
inside this sealed bottle is a note. This note gives you a huge advantage in the next community challenge.
All 500.
Sold to Corinne for $500.
Hope it was worth it.
Previously, we've seen a challenge advantage pop up in an auction in season 11 when Danny acquired it and used it to win her immunity and saved herself from elimination. And if you know the rest of the Danny story, that was a big deal. Corinne is hoping for the same fate here. Back at camp, Randy says, I think Bob might have the idol since he has now gone to exile twice and he's really smart. So my plan is to purposely be a jerk to everyone so they vote for me, and then I'll play Bob's idol and vote who I want out of this game. This is of course a crap plan, a band-aid plan, if you will, for Randy's severed arm problem, but whatever, this is a Corinne video, not a Randy video. Meanwhile, Corinne tries to talk strategy to Maddie, but he doesn't care since we earlier learned he hates her personality. We then see Randy flip out on people by cursing them and saying, Maddie, you're whoring yourself out to win this game. I mean, Randy's really going off the deep end here. It's fun, but not really. But it is fun, but not really. At the immunity challenge, it is Corinne's chance to save herself, and
You will sit out for the first stage of this challenge and move directly into the final round.
Go! Your job is to arrange those puzzle blocks like a nice line of dominoes. Corinne making a lot of progress. Question is, have you spaced them properly? Kenny coming on strong now. Suddenly, Kenny's nearly complete. Do not panic. Take your time. Everybody has their blocks moving. Who's going to finish first? Does he go, Corinne? No, Corinne stops short. Kenny wins immunity.
She blew it. Back at camp, she asked Bob if he has the idol, and he says, yeah, I have the idol, which is great. She says, please give it to Randy and buy us all one more tribal to hopefully flip this game back to us. Bob then talks to Randy, gives him an idol, and at tribal council, everyone goes to vote.
I'm holding this up for a minute before I start, so it seems like I'm explaining why I'm voting Randy. I'm voting you, Susie, because payback's up.
This vote is not strategic. It's strictly personal.
You are a disgusting, old, hot-headed, chauvinistic, alcoholic, bigot, and you need to grow up before you die alone. Loser.
You have made my life hell from day one. To get you, go home, goodbye.
If anybody has the hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so. This is not a hidden immunity idol.
I think that Randy would fall for it.
Sugar wants to play the joke on Randy. My life expectancy is a little bit better off allowing her to have the satisfaction of me giving Randy the idol. I get nothing to lose.
Randy is an ass, and I loathe him with every inch of my being.
First vote. Randy. Susie. Randy. Susie. That's 3 votes, Susie. Randy. Randy. 11th person voted out of Survivor Gabon and the 3rd member of our jury. Randy. Randy, tribe has spoken.
Well then, Bob and Sugar trick them. I thought Bob was on Corinne's side, but apparently not. As it turns out, Sugar has the real idol, and in fact, she did find it her first time going to exile in episode 2. But in bigger news, Bob flipped too, so now Corinne is an island, and I don't think she is capable of a Terry / Ozzy / Tom Westman type of an immunity run that she kinda needs right now. Bob then reams out Sugar for laughing at Randy when they tricked him, and I think he's just feeling quite guilty. But in bigger news, the Corinne and Sugar rivalry heats up.
Corinne, you talk about people all the time behind their back, and then to their face you act like a really sweet little girl with a little bow on your head. Come on.
I'm acting like a sweet girl. If I told everybody to their face what I said behind their back, I wouldn't be playing a very good game, would I?
Well, you shouldn't be talking about people behind their back.
Why not? It's Survivor. You don't come here to make friends. You come here to play the game. You said it yourself.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head, Corinne. We're here to play the game, and we're playing the game.
In general, I'm a nice person to people I like. I am now in a camp of mutants, none of whom I like. So it's very difficult for me to pretend to be nice to them. That's not something I'm used to, and that's done.
Sugar is a very emotional person along with Maddie, so this kind of public blowup is only going to hurt Corinne's chances of working with them in the future, or even possibly getting their jury vote if she were to reach the final 3. We then see Jeff shill for the already outdated Samsung Instinct by Sprint TM and says, on this are messages from home. And unlike with the letters earlier this season, this actually causes Corinne to cry. But for the reward challenge, 2 teams are selected by the players, with Corinne not being selected by anyone, so she can't compete. Bob ends up winning, and back at camp, he brings along his wife, and
oh my
God! Seeing my brother and seeing somebody who loves me and who knows me and who gets my sense of humor and who knows how mean I am and loves it was such a cool, I was overcome with emotion.
I don't mention secret scenes in story videos typically, if at all, but I want to briefly point out that they chose to cut out a scene where Corinne goes full villain when talking about the players left in the game. I'm gonna show it to you, but remember, this was cut from the show, so I'm not gonna count it towards any of the character or strategic moments, because I think the show was keeping it out to keep the family visit light and sweet, and not whatever Corinne is doing here.
I've been living in this for the last, 11 or 12 days. It's infested with mosquitoes. I'm completely we covered it, so there was no food for the first, there's no food for the first 3 days or water.
Lost a lot of weight.
Really? Thank you. Having my brother as a new face come in to camp and being able to tell him all the things on my mind and have him, you know, understand where I'm coming from was awesome. I can't believe you actually get to see where I live. This is crazy. So you can go back and tell everybody.
So you're like a changed person from this?
No, and that's the brilliance of it.
You're supposed to be like you're supposed to be totally different.
Yeah,
like you see things differently,
well, and
you're like growing and maturing as a person.
Yeah. No, I have more hate than ever in me. As if I wasn't already an angry person. I wish you would have met the people that I liked that were here before. Until I got here, I was perfectly happy. Like, I was having a ball when I got here, and I wanted to kill these people. These people are such losers. The one Mexican lady, she doesn't shut up. And then, like, the little Asian kid, he's never had a girlfriend, he's never had a kiss. He's 22 years old. You know, the one Sugar, she's the one I hate the most. You see what she looks like? She claims to be a pinup as well. A pinup.
For what?
I don't know. I liked it. Wouldn't you like to know? I'm around people 24 hours a day that I can't stand. So when I got my brother alone and I was dishing out to him, I mean, I was on the floor laughing with my brother because he totally gets it. I mean, I could go on and on. And then the other thing is these people, they're always trying to see like the bright side of things, which I like it better. Like, misery loves company. Like, me and the people I was flying with are like this soft. I mean, that's more my style.
I'll let you make the call. By leaving the scene out, are they keeping the family visit light and sweet, which is what I think, or are they just trying to keep Corinne a bit more likable? Your choice. She then talks to Bob, who says this may be a good time to blindside Maddie. Corinne is like, yeah, absolutely. Though she still needs to win immunity, and guess what? She doesn't, because Bob wins it. Back at camp, everyone says, yep, Corinne is next. No question about it. But then Bob has a crazy plan that just might work.
Remember when we threw the idol into the ocean?
Yes.
Did you know that he had the idol in his pocket when he came back and hid it around camp and showed me where it was?
And that's a legit idol?
No, but it sounded pretty good, didn't it?
Yeah, it did sound good. The story is this. Marcus got the idol. You were the only person that knew about it. I've never known about it. Right. If you hadn't gotten immunity tonight, you would have used it for yourself. Right. But you got immunity, and the only way to keep yourself in this game is to give it to me so that I'm still in the game and to take out the strongest player, being Maddie. If they think I'm going to play the idol, they're not going to want to vote me.
God, you are a conniving son.
You really can't say anything.
I promise. Okay. I swear.
So, you remember when they threw the idol out into the ocean? We're taking out Maddie, and that's it. So, he may end up going home, but I know I'm not.
This has definitely changed the game. And I think the best shot is to blindside Maddie right now.
We come up with a ridiculously harebrained scheme that shouldn't work at all. And it might actually work, which is so mind-blowing. It just shows you the level of like incompetence that we're playing with.
Now in this video, we haven't talked about Kenny at all, but his storyline has been showing how he is smart, a bit arrogant, and really desperate for a hot girl. Now Corinne, of course, is a hot girl physically, and I wonder how much of this is affecting his thinking here. He then talks to Crystal about this idea and she says, that is solid, let's do it. But she seems to be up in the air on whether to vote out Maddie or Corinne. So at Tribal Council, everyone goes to vote, and...
First vote, Maddie. Corinne, 1 vote Maddie, 1 vote Corinne. Maddie, 2 votes Maddie. Maddie. Corinne, 2 votes Corinne. Corinne, that's 3 votes Corinne. 12th person voted out of Survivor Gabon and the 4th member of our jury. Corinne. Corinne? The tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
So let's break this down. How is Corinne as a character? I love Corinne on Survivor. She brings the heat when her back is to the wall and adds the much needed spice to any group she is in. As a character, she would have fit right into the Black Widow alliance of Micronesia. She wanted to be a villain, and I think she accomplished it in a way that makes her a shoo-in to be asked back to play again, and that is only made certain with her final words after being voted out of the game.
I can't stand Sugar. I'll never be able to stand Sugar, and I plan to never exchange another sentence with that girl for the rest of my life. You know, I really just don't like any of those people other than Bob and Kenny. And I really, really, really wish Kenny and Bob all the best. And I hope the rest of them have miserable lives.
Out of 14 character moments shown on the show, 5 were anti-heroic and 9 were villainous, making Corinne Kaplan a villain character on Survivor Gabon. Now, how is Corinne as a strategist? She wasn't bad, but she wasn't great either. She had one plan aligned with the popular people. And when that fell through, I'll give her credit, she was better than Randy at trying to work with others, but many saw right through her smile and knew that she was likely talking smack about them behind each and every one of their backs. It's a dangerous move to do, and while it made for entertaining television, I don't think she wins even if she does make it to the final 3 with Marcus and Charlie as originally planned. I think she's a 0-vote finalist at best. Is that good? I mean, it's okay. It's better than how she ended this season, but with some maturity, we could see a Corinne with an actual chance of winning. Out of 24 strategic moments shown on the show, 12 are smart and 12 are dumb, making Corinne Kaplan an average strategist on Survivor Gabon. Thanks for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. I'll see you all next time.